Hi guys, Michael Weldon here, back with another recipe for you to cook at home. Today's recipe is all about these beautiful Smitten apples and Coles Supermarket's partnership with the Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Foundation. From the 17th of March, 30 cents from each kilo of Smitten apples sold, all the way up until $75,000 is raised, will go towards the Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Foundation and helping kids make better meal choices. Learn more about gardening and growing their own vegetables and also cooking so you can have happier, healthier kids. So what we're going to make with these beautiful apples is the combination of my two favorite apple dishes, an apple pie and an apple crumble. So I call them my mini apple crumble pies. So instead of putting pastry on top of our pies, we're just going to put it on the bottom and we're going to top that with a beautiful apple crumble. The first thing we need to do is chop up these Smitten apples, and all I'm going to do is just cut off the cheeks around our core, just to reveal just the core. And then we're just going to slice these into nice thin slices of apple. So you can see our Smitten apples are chopped nice and thinly, and these can go into a mixing bowl. I'm just going to add a couple of extra ingredients to these to really help lift their flavour. Zest of half a lemon, and then the juice of the same amount. We're just going to juice of half a lemon, squeeze that in, half a cup of brown sugar, and the same amount of raisins. Now all we need to do is gently mix our apples together so they're coated in that sugar and that lemon zest and the lemon juice. This is a great one to get the kids involved in because it's really easy but quite fun, and we're all about getting the kids in the kitchen and doing a little bit more cooking. So that looks really good. Now that's our filling made. To go with our filling, we've got to make a classic crumble. And for me, classic crumble has 4 ingredients: flour, butter, sugar, and oats. We mix them all together, and that's going to give us a really nice crumble. So what I'd like to do is combine the first 3 ingredients, our sugar, our flour, and our butter, and start mixing this together. And what we're going to go for here, and what I'm trying to achieve, is some really loose breadcrumb-like consistency. And at this stage, we can now add in our oats. And just to balance things out, just a little pinch of salt. I just like the nice little bit of savouriness the salt gives to our crumble on top. Now for our pie base. I've got a muffin tin here, and I've just rubbed a little bit of butter in each of our tin or muffin spots. So the first thing we're going to do is get a sheet of puff pastry. I've got 3 sheets here because you should get 4 bits of pie shell in each one. And then with a cookie cutter, just cut out 4 circles. And then all I'm going to do here is put them into my pie tin. And to do that, I simply fold them into almost a plus sign, just like that, and poke them into our pie tin. And then we just push our pastry down to make sure it fills out all the corners. And you will get a couple of little folds there, which I don't mind at all, because when this bakes and puffs up, the puff pastry will make it nice and crispy and crunchy and give you extra layers. I'm just going to put in our last bit of puff pastry to make our pie shell. And now it's time to fill it in with our apple. And you can see by adding the sugar and the lemon juice to the apple, it actually softens and brings a little bit of juice out of them as well. We're going to make sure we fill them right to the top so you can actually press your apple into these little pie tins, and we want them to be overflowing because when the apple cooks, they're going to soften and fall down a little bit. Then I'm just going to sprinkle a few more of our extra raisins around the place, and then it's time to crumble. We've got a beautiful crumble here. We want to make sure, again, we're generous with that and really pile it on. So we've got these beautiful little apple crumble pies. They're going to get into the oven at 180 degrees for about half an hour till the pastry's golden, the top's golden, and that apple has just softened and sweetened. These have cooked for half an hour, and I've let them sit on the bench for 10 minutes just to cool down so they'll really easily pop out. And all you need to do is run a knife around the side, pop them out, and have a look at that golden, crispy pastry, the soft Smitten apple center, and that lovely, crunchy crumble top. And make sure you've got these Smitten apples in your trolley from the 17th of March onwards, because 30 cents from each kilo sold are going to go towards the Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Foundation and helping kids eat better, learn how to cook, and just live happier lives. Guys, that is my Smitten Apple Crumble Pie. Give this one a try. Happy cooking.